that. You mentioned big game for the Saints this week, and it is. They will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champion, division rival, leader of the NFC South right now, whom you trail in those standings. And the Saints offense has just been a massive point of contention really all season. The receiver position, really the running back position, quarterback position.
Depending on who you ask.
Depending on who you ask. Well, the Saints have reinforcements coming in at least one of those positions, and that's the running back. Mark Ingram traded from the Houston Texans back to the New Orleans Saints. Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport broke that news yesterday afternoon. It's a reunion for Mark Ingram and the Saints. On the surface, a lot of people are really excited about it, but I think you do need to look at it a little differently. I think this can be successful. I know some people have mixed feelings about it. You saw that on Twitter yesterday. Some people were really excited. Others were like, but he's not, he's Mark Ingram, but 4 years older.
Yeah.
And that is true. But this can still be successful for a couple reasons. Number one, it's all going to depend on what his role is. Is he going to come in and be the Mark Ingram from 2018 and you're going to have that tandem with Alvin Kamara? Probably not, because that was 40 years ago. And there's 4 more years wear and tear on his body and whatnot. But can he come in and provide a bit of a change of pace? Can you still get Ingram those 20, 25 touches, but the rest of them kind of go to Ingram and you see how it works, and he has a small success just to give Kamara a blow here and there, which he didn't really get Monday night or the week before that. Yes, I think that can work. I think that can be successful, and it's also somebody who can come in and play immediately. He doesn't need a couple, a week here easing into the system, a week there getting a little further into it. He knows it like the back of his hand. He can come in, play immediately. He is a guy who, while it's not the same, 3 yards a carry this year for Mark Ingram. But in 7 games, off those 3 yards a carry, he's still almost to 300 yards rushing. And that's on the Houston Texans, who are not a good offense, who have Davis Mills at quarterback. That's just not going to be efficient between a running and passing game at all. And he's still churning that out. Now you put him, again, in a system he's familiar with behind that Saints offensive line. I think it can work for what you need it to be. You don't need it to be 2018.
Yeah. I'm just laughing thinking about Bradley Roby seeing Mark Ingram in the Saints locker room and being like, what's that? We made it out of Houston.
Long time no see.
And think about how good Mark Ingram has to feel, man.
But you think of that, and you think of Brandon Cooks still sitting in the Houston Texans locker room just sulking and being angry that he's not back in New Orleans.
Oh, man, for sure. The tweet and everything that has followed it from Brandon Cooks has been hilarious. But the way things ended with New Orleans and Mark Ingram, I'm sure he feels a little good about having another crack at it with this team. And it's really unfortunate he wasn't there in 2008 and 2019, because I think he could have made a difference on that team. Although Latavius Murray did play really well, what Mark Ingram provides is more than what he just does on the field. Like you said, from a leadership perspective, him and Alvin Kamara back together. I'm so excited to see their joint interviews again. Those were so much fun. And like you said, it's not going to be 2018. It's not going to be a Boom and Zoom per se, but Zoom is going to be the lead guy now, and Boom is going to provide hopefully just enough Boom for the Saints to do what they need to do on offense. And like you said, it's still going to be mostly Alvin Kamara. Kamara is still going to be featured. He's still going to be the guy, but it's going to be Ingram coming in to give him a spell, and not just running the ball, but Mark Ingram, a really good screen back. He learned from the best in Pierre Thomas and Sproles when they were still with the Saints, and he'll help in the passing game as well. And not just that, but you can have Kamara and Ingram in the game at the same time with Ingram in the backfield and Kamara lined up out wide or in the slot. So it's definitely not a huge deal. Like you said, it's not the Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara of old, but it's definitely significant. And I think Mark Ingram will help this football team.
Yes, that's ultimately the point, right? I think he helps the football team. I think he makes the Saints a better offense. And look, it might not show up this week against Tampa Bay because they're really good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
It's hard to run the football against them, even if you would have had, the 2018 tandem between of Kamara and Ingram. But is he a better option than Devine Ozigbo? I think so. Is he a better option than Lamar Miller? I think so, and obviously they do too. Let's see what Sean Payton can do with Mark Ingram now a little bit later on in his career, older. See if he doesn't try to work out maybe a little bit of even a new role for Mark Ingram to get him going a little bit. I'm optimistic about it because I think it can help.
Yes. It'll help. Like you said, it's not going to be like it was before, boom and zoom, but it's going to help. And Mark Ingram is not in the same league as the guys the Saints have been bringing in and kind of kicking the tires on. Lamar Miller, Devontae Freeman, who has caught on with another team in the Ravens. But I think Mark Ingram has just a little bit more left in the tank, and his stats don't look great this year. The most he's run for with the Texans, like you said, running behind the Houston offensive line is for 85 yards. But he has a game this year where he has 14 carries, 16 carries, 18 carries, and in the first game against Jacksonville, he had 26 carries for 85 yards. So the usage has still been there with Mark Ingram, and 31 years old, definitely not as good as he used to be, but between the tackles, he's still really effective, and picking up blitzes, he's really effective. And again, what he's going to bring to the locker room, hopefully some of the stuff that you saw with Traquan Smith last week, maybe not directly, but indirectly, he'll help ease some things like that, and hopefully things like chemistry, familiarity with the offense, stuff like that, Mark Ingram can help with this team. But like you said, against Tampa Bay, they're really good against the run, number one in the league. So you're going to have to put it in the air a little bit more.
This was Sean Payton earlier today on a conference call with the New Orleans media where he was asked about the process of trading for Mark Ingram, what went into the actual process, and not only that, just the thought behind it.
After Latavius left and Tony was getting to work at the 2 position, when he got injured, it kind of created a void. Ziggy we brought in, and we're real familiar with him and has done a great job. But a player like that, sometimes it's hard to gauge if a team has any interest. I mean, Mickey and I talked about it in Seattle, and we felt it was worth calling him and just kind of poking around. And, Alvin and he obviously are real close. And once that momentum began, I was still somewhat skeptical just relative to the role he was playing for them. And, man, yesterday, kind of went back and forth, and fortunately we were able to work something out. He arrives, like, right now. His plane landed, and he won't be able to practice today. He'll be able to practice tomorrow.
Sean Payton was asked a little later on, is there a chance we see him Sunday? His response, absolutely. So you will see Mark Ingram. Landed today, no practice, but we'll be out there tomorrow, and we'll be on the field Sunday when the Saints face the Buccaneers in the Dome. They are a 5.5-point underdog. You know who else will be on the field when the Saints face the Buccaneers in the Dome, Mario? That is one David Onyemata. And we've talked a lot about the last few weeks, guys coming back from IR, guys coming back from suspension. And every time we've had that conversation, we focused a lot on the defensive guys. And we always focused on Davenport, Quan Alexander, and David Onyemata. And with Davenport, it was to see what it could help improve the pass rush.
Yes.
Well, they ended up with 5 sacks on Monday night. Now, no, Davenport did not have one of those, but he impacted play after play after play with his pass rush ability. I am even more just fired up, honestly, to see David Onyemata get out there and see if that can't even elevate the Saints pass rush another level. Remember what he was doing in the preseason. David Onyemata was living in backfields in the preseason and doing it from an edge position instead of his normal interior position on the defensive line. I am fired up for David Onyemata to be back on the field Sunday.
My favorite part of preseason this year was David Onyemata going up against like 3rd and 4th stringers because Sean Payton wanted to keep him in football shape and just like throwing him out the way. That was great. But that's a good point. That compounded with the return of Davenport, who already made an impact last week, that's going to be significant. Not just that, but specifically against this opponent, because Tampa Bay has been a complete offense. Leonard Fournette is playing a lot better, but they haven't seen a defense like the Saints yet. And just like Tampa Bay's rush defense is number 1 in the league, the Saints defense is number 3 in the league. And you're facing off against Tom Brady. He's more than capable of beating you, without the run game supplementing him. But they're going to have to put it in the air for the first time really this season, or more than they have so far this season. And with Onyemata, with Davenport back, bearing down on Tom Brady, having to pass more on early down situations, inside of the Superdome, that might be advantage Saints, my friend.
It might be. You mentioned the Saints defense, and Bruce Arians was very complimentary of the Saints defense as well. This is number 2, Casey, if we could, saying that, look, man, that's going to be the best unit we've faced all year.
The entire defense. This is by far the best 11 that we've faced this year. Front 7, Demario Davis, one of the best there is. Same with Cam Jordan. So this is a big physical defense with a great secondary. So, yeah, the defense steps up. Their special teams are outstanding, and they're a challenge. Offensively, Galloway, but it all starts with 41. You got to stop 41. And, with Alvin's running around, we got problems.
Big game feel, man, in the Dome. Playoff game feel for Sunday, Halloween, Saints, Bucks for the first time this year, noon on Sunday.